She snatched power with 97% of the vote, but world leaders are snubbing her lavish inauguration. In what many have called one of the most controversial elections in East African history, Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been sworn in for another term after claiming an unbelievable 97% victory in the October 29, 2025 general election. A result that has sparked outrage, protests, and a wave of diplomatic silence from across the world. A landslide wrapped in fear. The election took place under heavy military presence and an internet shutdown that lasted several days. Opposition rallies were banned, journalists were detained, and leading opposition figures, including Tundu Lissu, CHADEMA, and Zitto Kabwe, ACT-Wazalendo, were either arrested, silenced, or barred from participating altogether. When the National Electoral Commission announced Suluhu's landslide win with 97.6% of the vote, Tanzanians across major cities like Dar es Salaam, Arusha, and Mwanza poured into the streets, not to celebrate, but to protest. Security forces responded with gunfire and tear gas. Reports from human rights groups suggest hundreds may have been killed or disappeared during the post-election crackdown. As one activist told Le Monde, Tanzania has fallen silent not because we agree, but because we are afraid. A grand inauguration without guests. On November 3, 2025, the president held a glittering inauguration ceremony in Dodoma, featuring military parades, red carpets, and imported champagne. But something was missing: the guests. While Tanzania invited more than 30 heads of state, only a handful attended. Kenya's William Ruto, Uganda's Yoweri Museveni, and Rwanda's Paul Kagame all declined to attend, sending junior envoys instead. The African Union, United Nations, and European Union issued muted statements, stopping short of congratulating her. Even China and the US, normally quick to reaffirm relations, have kept their tone cold and cautious. Observers say this widespread diplomatic snub is a clear message that world powers and African partners alike are questioning the legitimacy of her victory. Inside Tanzania, a nation under lockdown. For ordinary Tanzanians, daily life has become tense. Internet and mobile data remain restricted in several regions. Dozens of journalists and bloggers are still missing or detained. University students and youth activists are being trailed by security agents for speaking online. The government insists it is restoring peace, but citizens describe it as a climate of fear and surveillance. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and Reporters Without Borders, have condemned the election as a democratic farce carried out under intimidation and violence. Why the 97% matters? In democratic history, no credible multi-party election has yielded such a margin without signs of manipulation. A 97% win signals that there was no real competition, that ballots were either stuffed, rigged, or uncontested. As The Guardian noted, a victory this large in a country this divided is not a sign of strength, it's a warning sign. Regional and global implications. Tanzania is a crucial member of the East African Community, EAC, and the Southern African Development Community, SADC, both of which are now under pressure to respond to what critics call a silent coup by ballot. For Kenya, border security and refugee management may soon become urgent as Tanzanians flee political persecution. For Uganda and Rwanda, the crisis threatens to destabilize trade routes and regional projects, including energy and transport corridors. For Africa's democracy, it sends a chilling message that authoritarianism can still thrive, wrapped in the language of democracy. The people's cry. Despite the danger, Tanzanian youth and diaspora groups have continued to speak out on social media. Videos circulating online show mothers wailing outside police stations, demanding the release of their sons. Churches and mosques are holding vigils for the disappeared. The message from the people is clear. We voted for change, not chains. The verdict. Samia Suluhu's new term begins under a cloud of isolation. Her victory is written on paper, but not in the hearts of her people. The empty seats at her inauguration tell the story louder than any headline, a story of a nation at a crossroads, where power was taken